This is Alpha Omar Jabi, an 18-year-old boy from a financially disadvantaged background in the Gambia. 2 years ago, Alpha's life took an unexpected turn when he was diagnosed with a serious medical condition which began quietly as a slight bend in his back with a serious pain that continues to increase over time. His mother, Wude Silla, recalls the first time they noticed that something was wrong with their son.
Alpha Umaru aksiru na ba karanga ba grade 8 la ñi ngaja ñu kuranga boyta ka ngaja be jenke kan kara kilingal sa en kabiri ngaja be jenke kan kara kilingol la nata sikala nga samba brikama labtano to pour nga confirm mun na mu problème oti ina ta fanyen sa en dindinga nga samba demba ina ta dindinga jube yes ka ni ne ka inji ina ta fo comme kuranga mimbala kuranga into ne scoliosis.
Scoliosis is a condition that causes the spine to curve sideways, often into the shape of an S or a C. It affects the way a person stands, walks, and even breathes. If left untreated, scoliosis can lead to chronic pain, deformity, lung complication, and in extreme cases, permanent disability. After a careful medical examination, a board of specialists at the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital in Banjul reviewed Alpha's case. They concluded that he urgently needs overseas treatment.
Suro la kanda disturb. Misavel na malaring wala na metaserum. E kaya ng karo hindi ko hindi. Suro hondo ya mga suro fon sino no na fano ka ng kanasino.
Na wala lolo insiborin ngadalop tano do. Ya boro safe ya dinna ngadiala pari wadolbi afisia wadolbi ay continue
en la fana niot ko yanele kana karambe tiara mo ko dano dularo mbasino suwala.
For many families in countries with advanced health care system, a diagnosis like scoliosis is serious but often treatable. With early detection, specialized surgeons, and modern medical technology, many patients receive corrective treatments and go on to live normal, healthy lives. Alpha's story might have remained an unheard struggle if not for an unexpected connection. During a visit to the Gambia, a family friend from Pennsylvania in the United States, Fred Rooney, came across Alpha and quickly realized the seriousness of his condition. For Fred, the moment felt deeply personal because years earlier, his own daughter had also been diagnosed with scoliosis at the age of 13.
It was really quite a shock when we found out that Caitlin was diagnosed with scoliosis because initially I didn't even know what it was, but the more that her mom and I began to read about what scoliosis was, we realized that that left untreated, she could potentially die.
I feel very lucky to have had surgery. I know that it's a very severe type of surgery.
I met Alpha in early 2025. I was in the Gambia, and I met him and saw just how progressed the scoliosis was, and realized that time was of the essence, and that if we didn't do something collectively to help him, the prognosis was very poor.
I remember thinking to myself how lucky I was that I had access to this type of medical care, because I would have been like that. I would have been like walking like this, because I was, even before surgery, I was already like this, but I would have been walking even more twisted.
The Gambia's Ministry of Health, through its overseas treatment program, has long supported Gambians from disadvantaged backgrounds, especially those with severe medical conditions. Alpha's name is now on the waiting list. However, this process can sometimes be very slow, given the limited funds available. Many patients wait months, sometimes years, before their turn arrives. For Alpha, time is very critical, as each passing day brings in more pain, more struggle, and the risk of irreversible damage to his health.
Akanne ku yala sutu ninga amonyor jatara karambungot. Ukanne ku ya bakel. Ngala kan ni ku ya bakel sudu ni nan fam binin grena inda graduation of caring ibela nyam makela ta makeno ulungan ni ku ya baba tale.
Whenever his friends visit, Alpha tries to smile, but behind that smile lies sadness. Sadness that he cannot join them in school. Sadness that he must sit at home while others move on. About a year ago, Mamadou Jabi, the man, the father who once provided for his family, is now confined at home, watching his son's suffering while struggling with his own.
Ndem drive what you bon bari na drive ya kono kono ndeba na sasa mi musindi mo fanandi saying manda do kula fana.
Before the sickness, Alpha was a bright student who excelled tremendously in school. He often would help his parents with small errands, run to the shop, fetch water, or lend a helping hand whenever needed, just like any ordinary Gambian child raised on respect and responsibility.
Alpha molde ay makoy bakele kadu wote mo ninga ki fen o fen na janin kurang ay bamutal akatalale alotan fela ay makoy.
Ba ina sanyi fula manta karamudo akaranti yar.
He's basically relegated to home. He's really a prisoner in his home. And it's very, very sad because like Caitlin, before the onset of scoliosis, he was a very active boy.
If I weren't able to have the corrective surgery that I had, because I know that what my future would hold would be potential organ puncture and death.
With the father unable to work and the mother unemployed, there is no steady source of income for this family. Yet, the cost of Alpha's recommended treatment stands at nearly $25,000 US.
Left mole dana mo be me alon kati is de maro keno prundingo asiyaro so nyamina
kan mera sino so kono mukata no school mukata no dula mo nyol fe wala be kala kala mo
Ni dinga be nyim position to akeni ku ya mala dimbati yol mum fananti ni ngaju bete ni ka ku ya mabari ma moyen soto.
I wish that Alpha could have the type of medical treatment that I had. If anybody were able to help and provide support in this case, I think that would be really great, because the alternative would be that a person would end up hunched over and potentially dead.
We're reaching out to people not only in the U.S. but in Europe and wherever the word gets out about Alpha. We want to see if we can get folks to come and pitch in, whether it's financially or just in any other way.